Hey guys, what's up? Nick here with
Andrew Drawn.
Andrew John. Yay. I always say your name after you say it. I'm gonna have to stop doing that at some point. Uh,
I kind of like hearing my name again,
I
but yeah,
bet
it's
you
cool.
do. I bet you do. Well, anyways, ladies and gents, we're gonna talk about something that I talked about last night, and it's pretty deep stuff. Really interesting. It's taking the idea of fear and then fear of success even deeper than what you might actually know that it can go. And this is something that's been occurring more and more for me. But before we do that, Andrew wanted me to share a little bit of. I'll be a little quicker than I was with sharing you the detailed story. But let's suffice it to say that last night was the most ridiculous night I've had in a long, long time.
It was like Nicholas level ridiculous.
It was like Nicholas level. Oh yeah, for sure. So it all started. Andrew and I were attempting to record these videos actually, and everything, every medium, Skype, GoTo, everything was glitching, like really bad, like pixelated, crazy face glitching. And so we actually, being zonky and crazy like we are, I think we spent like a half hour on there, just like moving
At
our
least
heads,
just
yeah, just like
being weird.
being really weird and like tripping each other out because it was so pixelated and like awesome. Um, that's that's sad and awesome at the same time, but
It's both of those
it's
things.
both at the same time. But it didn't stop there, because while we were doing that, all of a sudden, boom, my power just boom goes out. But only half of it, which was really weird. Half my house was on, so that was awesome. I'm like, okay, I gotta go figure this out. Go downstairs, wasn't any of my fuse boxes, so I was thinking, okay, this is really strange now. My oven was out, like just half of my house, like just little pieces and modulars of the house had no power. And then, being that, of course, the part that went out had to do with connecting all of my fire alarms, which are all pleasantly interconnected. They all start tripping. They start going off. So that was awesome. So I finally found the fuse to turn that off because it was like the power was surging. It was like doing this weird surging thing. When I turned one of the lights on, it was like flickering, doing surges. So that was interesting. But it didn't stop there. So what ended up happening throughout the night is, finally, I don't even remember, it's probably 1 a.m. I heard a truck outside, very familiar sound. Sounded like a fire truck to me because I've accidentally called the fire truck before. So I go outside and it actually was, the utilities company. So they were out and he had a flashlight he was going around. So ran back inside, put some pants on because I definitely ran outside without pants on. It's definitely in my boxers. But so I ran back inside, put pants on. He was coming around because I'm on the corner unit, so I have like all the power boxes on my garage. So I asked like, "Is the power up?" And he shines his flashlight on it, and like all the numbers that are supposed to be on there tracking like power and such were gone. It's like everything was just gone. So it's like, oh my god. So pretty much what happened? So I go on my phone and the cool thing about Duke Energy here in Florida is they have like really good tracking for outages. So I could actually zoom all the way into my, like, they had a triangle over my house. And the triangle said something along the lines of outage due to damage to equipment. So it's like, oh, damn. Well, right now, I have the half the utility company in my front yard now, fixing up whatever's going. Wires are everywhere. These big, huge lines are across my driveway, so it's really crazy. Um, but I was pleasantly woken this morning at 6 a.m. after I finally fell asleep at 3 a.m. by all the fire alarms going off again because apparently they fixed the power. So, it surged through my whole house and lit up my whole house with fire alarms. So that was awesome. Run downstairs, turn back on my fuse, it resets them, and I'm awake. So I've been awake for a little while. But it gets better because this morning I woke up and my ear, I can't hear out of my left ear. I'm deaf in my left ear. Come to find out just recently, I have a ear infection. So, if you can beat that, I would love to hear that story in the comments. Like, seriously, like I almost want to end this video there because like and just like tell this story of just like the craziest night. Like, can you beat that? But I will add a little bit more to this. So the fear of fear. I'm going to bring you into this one too, Andrew, because we talked about this extensively. I know you have some feedback on this whole concept. First of all, fear of success. Like a lot of people, especially beginning, even in the middle, don't understand what fear of success is, and that it actually exists. And if you've read The War of Art or Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield, then he talks about the fear of success in there being the strongest fear, the fear that will kill you. So we're not going to get into that too much, but I took it a little deeper. So another short story. I'll try to shorten this one even more. Andrew calls me. I'm at Starbucks. I'm about to walk in, so I decide not to because I answer the phone. And I'm sitting on the curb, just kind of we're talking, and I'm like, going through these kind of things right now. I'm like, we're doing some big things. There's a lot of success that's like happening. We're in the midst of it, and I think there's something. I think there's something more. I think there's something even deeper than this fear of success. I think right now that I'm afraid of letting go of my fear. I think that I have fear of letting go of fear. Because if you think about it, fear allows you this place of reason and excuse, right? I'm afraid. You get to go back like, I'm afraid. I have fear. But what happens when you're no longer afraid? And I meant to use this analogy last night on the webinar, but I didn't. So I'm glad that this is going to be something new here. Is what happens when you're facing the lion that you think that you should be afraid of, and no longer you fear it? What do you do at that point? You have no defenses, and yet you have to defend yourself. You have to move forward. There is no running away because you don't have fear. Fear won't let you run away because you don't have it anymore. So what do? You have to face the lion, and the lion in this case being your success. So just know that when you make it to this point and you start to understand what this whole thing of fear of success is, and you're like, whoa, I feel it. I know what they mean now. Know that there's something even deeper underlying that. It's the fear of letting go of fear. And if you can just recognize that exists, then you can conquer that and you can face the lion.